All right, welcome to I Am Sure Sports. This is Manning's Man. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday wherever you're watching from. Yes, it's going to be a good one. I'm going to share some information and something that is very important. But as usual, welcome to the platform. If this is your first time, as usual, we ask you to subscribe. All right. Also, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the content so others can know. We have been putting out a lot of content about what is happening at Mount Pleasant, but today we want to begin and go in a different direction. Again, the video is powered as usual by Tricknick. You understand me? Check out their barbecue sauce and their jerk marinade. They have curry powder, curry sauce. You understand? They also have their restaurant that operates in Ontario. So Brampton, Ontario. So also check them out if you're in the area. Big up to Prestige Finance, help lending a helping hand when you need it the most. All right, recently, and this is probably a video that probably the people in Western Jamaica would appreciate a whole lot. So Wappy recently passed, and just before that, another Reno legend, Cecil Silla Pringle, all right, also passed. All right, so two of the main midfielders in the dominant Reno side in the 90s have recently passed, and it is so unfortunate that in terms of across Jamaica in the footballing fraternity, you haven't heard much about these legendary players who made football alive, especially in the local Premier League. Such a big thing, massive crowds and competitive games. So I want to just take some time and share with you a little bit about the players who I was familiar with because I was an ardent fan of the Reno, or supporter of the Reno Football Club. Now, Cecil Pringle, he started out his career at the Manning School in Westmoreland. He very intelligent youngster, got into the Reno team, a very difficult team to break into. You know, they had like the big heads at that time playing there, Bengeleng, Boys Nicholson. They also had the likes at that time when he was getting into the side, the Wendell Downswell, who were kind of aging out, and he was coming in as a youngster, having had a successful time at Manning. And I can tell you, he became one of those stalwart, a mainstay in that midfield. He was joined by Calvin Valentine, who was in the Old Harbour St. Catherine era, played for Galaxy, but came to Reno, and they formed a trio along with Donald Hewitt. And there were times when Easton Fumasimit was in that midfield. So you had the Easton Fumasimit, the Donald Jemmy Hewitt, you had the Calvin Valentine, that is Whoppy, and you had Cecil Pringle, you had like Birdie, Clive Richards in defense, you had like the Linval Palo Wilson. I'm telling you, you had the Capel, Donaldson, Contail up front. This was a strong Reno team. Later they would add the likes of Ted Roy, Tickerus Jones. You know, they had the Skillers, the Dan, so many players, and Mark Hagler Wilson during this era. But let me just talk a little bit about Wappy. I don't know, but having watched local football, let me just help you a little bit of information. Calvin Valentine actually played youth cricket and youth football for Jamaica. In fact, in his youth days, he was one of the fastest pace bowlers regionally in his age group. And many people felt like he would have been a part of a West Indies time. But as you know, I mean, when they had the likes of the Walsh and the Ambrose and the Bishops coming through at that time, it was very difficult to kind of break in to the West Indies team. So if you were a footballer, you probably felt like you'd have more luck doing that. But Calvin Wappy Valentine, I think in terms of making long passes over 10, 15, up to 60-yard passes, I think there is none like him in Jamaica. I am telling you, deadly ball splitting, transitional passes by him. Hector Wright was very good, but people will tell you, Wappy could pass it left foot, right foot, inside of the foot, outside of the foot, instep, side of the foot, With his thigh, would make the passes. With his chest, he would make passes. With his head, he would make passes. That was how skillful this man was. When it comes down to chopping the ball on the chest, chopping the ball with the head, or what you call control on the thigh, in the instep, he was a master at that. Taking free kick, dead ball specialist. This man was a fantastic player, right? And it is unfortunate because many people felt like if he were physically conditioned better, he would have probably progressed in his footballing career and made a name for himself. But he was very big in body, and I think that slowed him down in terms of his mobility on the field. Cecil Pringle was a ball-winning, ball-playing, hard-working engine of the midfield player, and really appreciated by the Reno fans. Imagine them playing with the creativity of the Eastern Fumasemis and the Donald Jemmy Hewitt in the Reno midfield. I mean, awesome times of football then. And for me, it is unfortunate that you haven't heard much in mainstream media and in the newspaper about the passing of these guys. And so many of them, again, they represented Jamaica. It may not have been in 10 or 20 or 30 games, may not have been in a major competition, but these were part of the group of men that held local football together in the 90s and the early 2000s. And they must be appreciated. I am glad that I have a video actually on my channel where I was able to do an interview with Cecil Pringle. I tried countless times to interview Calvin Wappy Valentine, but it just never happened, and that was because he had major sickness, having suffered a couple of strokes. But with that in mind, I want to also big up a group, the Unsung Ones. This is Michael Tullo and Anthony Badas Carbet and so many others who are in that group. Those are two names, but there are many more who are in that group. And these men, they would take care of Calvin Wappy Valentine. At different times, there would be bags of grocery, check up on his medical well-being and welfare. So too is Apollo Wilson, who captained him at Reno. And I think the effort needs to be bigger. And I think now that football is progressing, while players should take care of their own well-being and welfare, I think money should be set aside that when people are in old age, having given so much to the sport, there is some way that they can receive some form of footballing pension or help, especially those who are falling on hard times. But I also say to the footballers, it's very important that you secure your financial future. There is no guarantee that your club will take care of you. The community will take care of you. So you have a important role in taking care of you. You have to do that. All right. So that's the video for today. Again, as usual, I ask you to hit the like button. I ask you to subscribe and to share. And tell me, how do you feel about what management is doing now? You know, we usually do a lot of lives, long videos, 2 hours, 3 hours. But tell me a little bit about what are your thoughts on the shorter versions, and give me a comment. Let me know. I mean, what are your thoughts on Wappy Valentine being the best in making the 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 yard passes in terms of people who play the sport in Jamaica? Right foot, left foot, inside out, chopping the ball in every way. And Cecil Pringle, how good was he? Tell me the stories you know about these legends. I am Management. This has been I Am Sure Sports. And as usual, when it gets to this point of the show, we come close up to the camera and we say we are over and we are OUT out of here.